Example 10, solve for x and then find the bolded angle. So on your paper, you'll notice that this top one, x plus 93, is a little bit darker than the bottom one, x plus 99. So after we state the relationship, tell if they're congruent or supplementary, we want to find x just as we did before. But then we're going to go to the next step, which is plug it back in and solve for the missing angle measure. All right, so let's start first with what relationship do we have here? So let's break it down. They're both on the inside of these parallel lines, so they're both inside, and then they're both on the same side of the transversal, okay? So these would be same side interior. And we know that same side interior angles are, supplementary. All right, so they both are going to add up to 180. So we're going to set up our equation as x plus 93, this angle, plus this angle, x plus 99, together equal 180 degrees. All right, so combine like terms. X plus x is 2x, and 93 plus 99 is 192. So plus 192 equals 180. Subtract 192 to get that 2x alone. So we get 2x equals 180 minus 192 is going to give us negative 12. The last step is divide by 2. So x equals negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. All right, now what's the angle measure up here? Now this angle's not negative 6. We just know x is negative 6. So we need to work out negative 6 plus 93. And you can do that in your calculator as well. And negative 6 plus 93 is 87. So the angle measure of the bolded angle would be 87 degrees. And that's all we have to do. Let's do the next one. Example 11. State the relationship. So first we have both angles on the inside, but they're on separate sides of the transversal. However, they're not on alternate sides. So they're not alternate interior. Okay, they would be a linear pair because they are sharing a side. Okay, so they're touching. All right, so a linear pair. That means together they're going to add up to 180. They're supplementary because they make this straight line here. All right, so 18x plus 7, so this angle, plus this angle, so plus 6x plus 5. Together, they equal 180 degrees. Go ahead and solve this problem. Combine your like terms. 18x plus 6x is going to give us 24x. And then 7 plus 5 will give us a positive 12. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides. It's 168. Divide by 24. And x equals, make sure you use your calculator, I got 7. Now we want to find the bolded angle measure, so I need to plug in a 7 for x. So we're doing 6 times 7 plus 5. And 6 times 7 would be 42. And 42 plus 5 is 47. So that would be 47 degrees. Example 12. State the relationship. So this angle, 7x minus 6, is on the inside of the parallel lines, and this angle, 5x plus 10, is on the outside of the parallel lines. They're not alternates because they would have to both be outside, but they are across from each other. So these would be vertical. These are vertical angles, and we know that vertical angles are congruent. They're equal. So this equation we're going to set up totally different. We know that 5x plus 10 has to be equal to this angle of over here, 7x minus 6. So it's important to know the relationship and which one it is, because if they're supplementary, you're going to add them together and equal 180 like we did the previous two problems. And if they're congruent, then you're setting them equal to one another. All right, so we have variables on both sides, so we always want to start by moving the smaller. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. So that gives me 10 equals 2x minus 6. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So that gives me 16 equals 2x. Divide by 2. and x equals 8. So x equals 8. Now I want to find the bolded angle measure, so I'm going to plug in that 8 right there for x. So it'll be 5 times 8 plus 10. So that'll be 40 plus 10. That would be 50 degrees. So the missing angle measure, or the bolded angle measure, is 50 degrees. All right, there's 2 left. So if you will, pause the video and go ahead and solve the next 2, example 13 and 14 by yourself. When you're finished, press play and check those last 2 problems with me. Okay, so state the relationship, congruent supplementary, find x, and then find the missing angle measure. Go ahead and do those 2 now so that you can have some practice on your own. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. So these are going to be alternate interior. They're both inside the parallel lines, but on alternate sides of the transversal. They are congruent, so we're going to set them equal to each other. So 6x plus 13 is equal to 7x plus 5. You're going to subtract 6x from both sides. So we get 13 equals x plus 5, subtract 5. So x equals 8. Then we're going to plug that 8 in right here. So it'll be 6 times 8 plus 13. So that's 48 plus 13. And I get 61. How'd you do? 61 degrees is the angle measure of the bolded. 8 was the value of x. All right, last one, last example we're going to do. All right, these are going to be outside the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal and opposite each other. So these are alternate exterior. And we know those are congruent. So this one, we're going to set these equal to each other. So 4x plus 14 is equal to 5x plus 5. Now, one of my students asked me, does it matter which one you put on the left and which one you put on the right? Since they're equal to each other, it doesn't. So if you wrote it 5x plus 5 equals 4x plus 14, that is going to give you the same thing, okay? All right, so we're going to start by subtracting 4x because you move your smaller variable. So I get 14 equals x plus 5. 5x minus 4x is x. So then I subtract 5, and I get x equals 9. All right, so we're going to plug a 9 in right here for this x value. So 4 times 9 plus 14. So 4 times 9, that's going to give me 36. And plus 14, 36 plus 14 is going to give me 50. Double check with your calculator, always, always. You don't want to make a small math error and miss the whole thing. All right, so hopefully you got those, you did well, and you are ready to move on to the practice independently. Great job. Lots of new vocab. So make sure you study that front page with all the new terms. Some students like to make flashcards to kind of help with that, so that's just an idea.